So I think it's time we talk about the Saints Row review because I almost didn't play this game because the review was so abysmal. Like, I think I've seen most people giving it somewhere between like a 3 and a 7 at highest, but typically around like 5 to 6, like average, meh. And I was kind of buying into it. The biggest complaint was the writing, and we'll start with that complaint. Certainly, the millennial jokes kind of get old, but some of them actually kind of land pretty good. Some of them are actually pretty decently funny. But your main characters that you're supposed to care about, you care about them. They did a good job establishing them. The story, it's grounded in reality. It's got a little bit, of the silliness the Saints are used to, a little bit of the extreme, but nothing as bad as what people said. And there is just so much to do in this game. Like, here, let me open up the map. You can see just how huge the entirety of this area is. And like, these areas look barren. That's because I did most of the side missions there because I'm actually enjoying doing the side missions. You can see there's all sorts of stuff to do in this game. It's not just go mission to mission to mission. There's side ventures, there's helicopter missions, there's ride-along missions, there's whatever kind of mission you enjoy doing, you can find a way to do it. And I think that's a really cool feature. A lot of times, Grand Theft Auto, I'll point out because obviously that is the most obvious comparison you could find for this game. Like, when I play Grand Theft Auto, I play through the story once, because typically the story isn't all that good and it's not all that intriguing. And then, I'll do a couple of the side missions here and there if I need money, but I just don't care. Like, there's nothing to care about. They don't put a lot of effort into the story and the side missions and other things. It's just there so that their giant world doesn't feel absolutely empty. Whereas these side missions I enjoy doing to see like the story. Like, you can see my character's armor here is all cardboard. One of the whole like side missions is about a LARPing group, like a post-apocalyptic road warrior style LARP. And it's hilarious and it's fun and it's so cool to see that story unfold, and you get weapons as a part of it. And they feel good to do. The side missions and the main missions all feel really good to do. This is like one where when I destroy this, now you'll see I'll get a bunch of pop-ups. You'll see my side ventures now making more money, and that's one side mission done. And there is so much to do. They've also got an interesting RPG system kind of in here. Not the RPG I was just using, but a different RPG that I'll show you in just a second as soon as I lose the cops. All the combat and the gunplay feels reminiscent of the old school Saints. Like, it's not some tight, hyper-realistic shooter. It doesn't feel like you're playing Call of Duty with like really sharp and intense gunplay, but rather it feels reminiscent of its roots. And that's actually really good to see. I thought that was going to be a drawback at first, that the gunplay felt very retro, but it ended up being a good thing. Car combat, nice and easy, nothing too tedious. You can ram cars, you can fire at them. It's just they keep it simple. Keep it simple in such a good way. Now, it's not to say that there aren't some downsides to the game. When I do game reviews, I try and be as fair as possible. So there are some downsides. If you're playing on a console, there is a lot of times where you're going to have FPS drops and lag. Occasionally, I almost thought I was going to lock up a few times, so that is an issue to some degree. There's been a few minor bugs, nothing terribly annoying, nothing like game breaking, but some annoyances like that. Like, one of the missions, you have to steal a car, and I accidentally threw that car into the water, and then that car wouldn't spawn again until I had to go do another mission. That was annoying when I was trying to complete this mission. Again, minor annoyance, not excuse me, not absolutely game breaking or anything of that nature. It's the RPG system. So you get this really cool skills and perks menu. So here you get these different abilities. Like this one, you can grab a grenade, throw it down their pants, and chuck the enemy. Smokescreen bombs, proximity mines, frag grenades, flaming punches, and you can only use 4 at a time. So it kind of gives you a meaningful decision, and they're fun, kind of how you want to play. And then on top of that, you get these perks where they change, minor things about, like, you don't lose points, or you get more ammo, or you get faster reloads. So it really helps you to fine-tune the game the way you want to play it, the way you want to enjoy it, which is always a very, very welcome thing in a game, when they give you the ability to actually play it how you want to play it, and you don't have to worry about doing it how they want you to do it. You can do what's fun for you. Looks like someone's got a drug deal going on in this van. Oh. Another thing I love, you'll see I'm going to pull out the Dustland revolver. So this is the LARPing weapon. So the whole world plays with you. So when you hit them with the LARPing weapon, they use over dramatic death scenes, and like when you use a finishing move on them, you get special finishers that are non-lethal because you're using a non-lethal weapon. Like, those little details are amazing. It's just everything that they put into it. You can see that they had a lot of fun making this game, and that's a good thing, right? Saints Row was supposed to be a fun game. It started off trying to be Grand Theft Auto, but I think they found something even better, to be honest. Like I said, I played Grand Theft Auto once for the story mode just to experience it, and then I pretty much put it down and never touched it again. Whereas this game, I'm enjoying exploring the world, seeing the whole story. Again, the world is huge. And there's so many good things I can say. The gunplay, like we talked a little bit about, that it feels retro, but not like in a bad way. Like, the aim assist is good enough there that you can hit people accurately. You definitely have options for difficulty, which I always appreciate in games. If you know me, I play games mostly on easy mode these days because I don't get a whole lot of time to play all the games that I want to play. And so being able to customize it to the difficulty that I want is really awesome, compared to constantly dying on missions, getting frustrating, wanting to quit. They definitely did a great job on the difficulty sliders, which is, some games could learn from that. Looking at you, Dark Souls, you could definitely still learn from having a good difficulty slider. And this is another one of the side missions. This is just a little shooting gallery. And again, it's not something, in most games, I wouldn't take the time to do the side quest. I am not a 100% kind of person. I never play a game all the way through to 100% it. I would honestly consider 100%ing this game because I enjoy all the missions, the helicopter heists, the small missions, the LARPing ones especially. Hunting down these, this is one of the minor frustrations I will say, is the mini-map you can see. So the shooting gallery that I'm in, this is all within that yellow area, but it's a little vague, so it can make it difficult to track down everything that you're supposed to shoot, and they do hide them fairly well. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if some of them are under this trailer here. Oh, there's one hidden kind of behind stuff. I wish that was a little bit more clear, or that you could have like an optional give me a hint because I can't figure it out sort of thing. But again, these are minor grievances that in no way make the game unplayable. As far as I know, I could skip this with basically no recourse at all. I do know you get a couple bonuses for completing it. If I can manage to complete this all while I'm talking about it, we'll see what those bonuses are. But again, it's nothing game-breaking. If for some reason you can't do it, some reason you don't want to do it, can't find everything, the last 3 are going to be really hard to find, but we're going to give it a try. The character creation, gotta give them props. They did a lot of work on character creation, and I really appreciate that they don't lock you in to the character creation, that you can change it any time on the fly. Like, if I wanted to change something right now, I can go into the style menu and I can change my outfit and change my full body outfit. So we'll just shoot. Let's go into our taco suit. Boom. No cost, no association. You can just change the way that you look at any time, but then you can also change things about your character. If I want to be like, okay, now really skinny, or I wanted to go super muscular, or somewhere in the middle, like, you can change that right on the fly. You can change prosthetics, which I really give them a lot of props for this as well, that very few games give you the ability to just add or remove prosthetics, and you can fully choose arms, legs, boom, just right on the fly, done. And I can go back in and change that again if I want to. And just everything, your personality, you can change your voice, you can change the pitch of your voice, you can change pretty much everything about your character at any time that you want to. And I really love that okay, now I've got a whole new character to play as right here, and a taco shell. Like, it's awesome. I love that more and more games are not locking you into this idea of, well, you made that character at the start, so you're stuck playing that character for the next 10, 20, 50, however many hours you want to put into the game. Or like you have to buy a shop token or something like that. No, just give it to you. Disney Dreamlight did that very well as well. You can just change your character, you can change your hair, you can change your clothes, you can even change your gender on the fly if you want to. And I really appreciate them offering those details to people. As you can see, as I was talking about, I cannot find these last three things. I bet there's one on the other side of this water tower. Again, if I have grievances about this game, these would be the minor grievances of this circle is way too vague, and I cannot find the thing that it wants me to find. Maybe it's inside. We'll try and see if I can go inside. I don't think I can. No. Show you this up close though, since we're here again. So, just an innocent civilian. If I pop him with the gun, he gives us an over dramatic arrow to the knee. Just absolutely wonderful. I don't know much about the story yet. I'm probably, I would say, 15 hours into the game, give or take about now, and I've just been doing side quests. There's a bunch of cars to steal so that you can do different mods and unlock different things for cars. So I've been having a blast doing that. You've got this cash app where your ventures earn you money, so that even when you're playing the game, no matter what, you're making money so that you can go do things with said money. There's a lot of different stores to visit, so you get different clothes, different outfits, different things. That it's not just all one store. They all sell different things, so it gives you a good reason to go explore those worlds and see what all the world has to offer for you. And again, it's a fairly huge area. You can unlock fast travel, so since we're talking about fast travel, that will be probably my number one complaint about the game, is the map is absolutely huge, as you saw. And there is fast travel. You cannot unlock fast travel when you start a mission. The problem being that you'll start a mission and see that mission, for whatever reason, starts on the other side of the world, and now that you're in that mission, you can't fast travel. And that seems like a really silly oversight. I think the reason why they do that is they want you to drive through the world, right? They want you to experience the world. They want you to explore it all. So I kind of get the point behind that, but sometimes I don't feel like driving halfway across the map just to do one quest. You know, I'd much rather just be able to teleport near it and then do the quest and then explore the world how I want to explore the world. So that would be that would probably be the most major gripe that I have with this game, is the inability to travel whenever you want to travel. You get these awesome close combat scenes, and there's a lot of them, and I believe you can unlock more. I haven't gone to the vendor, but I'm pretty sure there's a new moves vendor that will teach you different moves like that. And you can see my bottom right corner that I have all these special abilities. That's your flow. That's one of the ones I showed you earlier that you can unlock. They're definitely a blast to use. I prefer having like a close combat, gritty kind of combat, so you can see I've got melee moves because I like the melee moves. The enemies, when they call for reinforcements, like these guys, you'll see them, they'll stop to take a selfie, which leaves them vulnerable, which is kind of a nice mechanic. But I really like, again, I know that a lot of people's complaint about this game is that the millennial jokes are far too much, but there is something hilarious and kind of sort of true about the idea of your backup coming, but before they fight with you, they have to, you know, get together and do a selfie first. So I really enjoy that, actually. I think that's a nice little world building touch, and it's not too much. But there is like a scene where you have too much depression, you have to, you know, click a whole bunch of buttons to fight the depression and be able to eat your frozen waffle. I was like, okay, that was a little bit much. I didn't care for it, but I'm not going to fault the entire game. I'm not going to dock it 5 points and knock it down to like a 3 or a 5 out of 10 just because I didn't like one scene of it, you know? The gun store, amazing. Lots of different guns to enjoy. Another feature I really like about it, actually, is when you go to buy a weapon, if you look at a certain weapon, you say, oh, I like this pistol, but I don't like the way that it looks. You can also upgrade it, but okay, I don't like the way that it looks, then whatever, you can change whatever parts of it that you want to change. You can change the patterns on it. Certain weapons, I think this one you can't, but if I go to like this one, I should be able to, where is it? It's a visual mod, here it is. I can make it look like a different gun altogether if I prefer a different looking gun, and I think that's a really cool feature that you can have the stats of one gun but look like a different gun just for the aesthetic if you like that. There's a Tommy gun that I really like, so no matter what SMG I use, I mod it to look like the Tommy gun because I like the Tommy gun, and I think that's just a really cool, again, it's a feature that doesn't impact gameplay, but it makes it so much nicer. It's kind of like Dungeons and Dragons when people ask to reskin their weapons. They're like, well, I want to use a spear, but I want it to look like a trident, or I want it to look like a giant sword. Like, you're using the same dice. It literally doesn't impact the game or change any part of it. It's just, you go for the fantasy in your head. Why wouldn't you allow that? That's the question I would ask. Why don't more games allow you to do that? Because it doesn't impact the game, but it makes you look cool or however you want to look. So I really dig that. I think that's a really cool feature that a lot more games need to adopt. And that's a question, how can you have a bad game that has a lot of features that other games need to adopt? The ability to change on the fly, though the weapons modding system, the world quests, the humor, all those things I think are that other games should be adopting and enjoying. So I really think, again, that it's unfair to give this game a 3, 4, or a 5. Now, I wouldn't call this game a perfect 10 out of 10. As you know, in my previous reviews, very few games, I believe, would be a 10 out of 10, even when we look at games like Red Dead Redemption 2, that a lot of people generally love. I would not give that game a 10 out of 10 either. 10 out of 10 is reserved for games that, like, change the genre forever or change the face of gaming forever. And that's certainly not this game. I think there are some things we can use from it. I think that the story, how much there is to do, how fun it is, I would honestly give it like an 8. I think an 8 is it's a solid 8. It's not a perfect game. There's still a few bugs, still a few things here or there. But it's a complete game. Like, I don't feel like there's anything that they didn't include just to sell me in DLC later or anything like that. Like, maybe once I beat the game, I'll feel that way. Again, I'm not even close to the end yet, I don't think. I still think there's plenty more, so maybe once I get closer to that, I will feel that way, but something tells me that's not how I'm gonna feel. It seems like a very complete and decently polished game for what they were trying to do. And again, I think that a 7 or less is just the unfair, I'm doing it for the memes or doing it for whatever I don't like about it. No, I think an 8 is more than fair and justifiable for this game. It's definitely worth it, especially because it's already on sale. There's a few places that are selling it for Christmas for $15. Like, for $15, you get so much. I would say the game's worth at least $30. I don't think I would even be all that upset if I ended up paying full price for the game, but I think for $30 or less for certain, pick it up, enjoy it. You're gonna get hours of fun out of it. There's so much good stuff with the game. And just don't believe the negative reviews. I think it is a solid Saints Row game, and I hope they make another one.